Hello everyone and welcome to Crypto Ripto. I'm Christian and in today's we're going to be about Floki Inu. Now their advertising campaign has been absolutely spot on and aggressive so far. They've been advertising in London, New York and Paris, on the tube, on the buses and everywhere you can think of. But they've upped it again now and gone with F1 team Alfa Romeo. Now, Floki Inu is the main competitor to Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, and it is fastly becoming a well-known main token that's here to stay. And it's also pegged itself in the price chart against the Bitcoin flow, which I'll show you in the price chart in a moment. But what does the big F1 news mean for Floki Inu? And with the market in a dire state at the moment because of the tragic news of what happening with Russia and Ukraine, is this the right time to be giving themselves an head start in the marketing game? Well, if you want to know more about Floki and what it means for their price chart action, stay tuned and let's get into the video. So before I start today's video, I have anything, you've guessed it, that you see, hear or choose to ignore is not financial advice. But with that boring bit out of the way, do slap that like button, hit that subscribe button, tickle that bell notification because it does help the channel. And we want to keep this news and this awesome crypto info coming straight to you. So with that being said, I'm going to dive straight into CoinMarketCap, give you a quick taste of what's happening in the crypto space before we dive into the great news of Floki Inu's F1 team partnership with Alfa Romeo. Boom. So as you can see here, if I just scroll up a little bit above my big fat head here, we can see that the crypto market is recovering slightly from that devastating news of Russia deciding to invade Ukraine, which my heart goes out to everyone that's involved in that, Ukrainians and Russians that are being dragged into it without their will and knowledge. But if you have a look at the crypto space, we are having a bit of relief bounce back for one or two reasons. A lot of people are trying to move their money into crypto from banks because they might get their assets frozen. And also every time historically any country or any person's gone to war, on the day the first bomb or shots fired, there is a drop and then a relief rally bounce back. But this is happening in crypto now, where Bitcoin is flying back up to just over 39,000. But what does that mean for the rest of the tokens? Well, the reason I'm telling you this is Floki Inu has established itself as not just a main coin, it's up there with the best of Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, holding its own. So it is now floating alongside the Bitcoin price chart. So the big news is for Floki Inu is that it has partnershiped with F1 team Alfa Romeo to provide it exposure to 1.5 billion people. Now, if you think to yourself, with all the people that watched the Super Bowl was getting crypto wallets and getting themselves exchanges, crypto.com, etc. Now they've got that and they've downloaded the wallets, they've had time to play with it. Now they're going to have exposure to new tokens and new things that are coming in the hype that are not just the Bitcoins and the Ethereums and the Cardanos, etc. Everyone that's young, old, fat, thin, like me, whatever, is going to get exposure to some of the best main tokens that for me are establishing themselves in a firm space. And this is exactly what's going to happen with Floki. Now look at this tweet. Floki announced partnership with legendary Formula One team Alfa Romeo. It is extremely proud to announce that the latest strategic partnership with legendary Formula One team is driving force behind Alfa Romeo's all-on team. Now, you can go over to their Twitter. I'm sure if you're a Floki fan, you'll know all about this. You've probably heard about it. But I want to tell you a bit more in-depth what it means for the Floki Inu people. Now, looking at the price chart, which you'll see here, you can see Floki is still in a downtrend, which it's been in since way back up here, back in sort of like November time. Now, this is, for me, one of the kind of, if you see here, it had an all-time peak of 0004, then it started to go in a downtrend sort of beginning of November, and it's been continuously going in a downtrend, trading in this channel here till we had the kind of December pump and the January dump, and it's just been bad news since January. And obviously with the pump here, which happened sort of like the end of January, which caught everyone out, it has pretty much done the same with the news of the Ukrainian and Russian issue. But obviously on the back of that, it has had a bounce and it's coming up to these nice levels here. Now, if you have a look at these support and resistance levels here, they have historically been strong for Floki Inu. Now, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more for the people that are interested here, because historically, when you've had all this price chart action here, and look at this ultra volume, people were buying, selling, dumping Shiba Inu, and then quickly it's shot back up to the moon and got itself back in this trading channel. Now, since then, it's been on a downtrend. As you can see here, it fell out. It got itself back into this trading channel, but it fell out and went below the kind of 50-day moving average. And it's been sort of trading sideways in a slow decline, crabbing sideways since then, until here is where the Russia-Ukraine crisis hit and it fell down. But this is because it's been following Bitcoin. In my opinion, if we have a look at the Bitcoin chart, you'll see Bitcoin did this, it dropped and it pumped. But where did Floki go? Based on the news of what they're doing in the advertising with the F1 team, which came out today, plus with the following the Bitcoin price chart, it firmly got itself back out of the dump into this bottom kind of support level here, and it's confirming itself as support here, which for me, the next leg up for Floki Inu will be this levels here, which will meet strong resistance. If it manages to break through there, it has got a little go before it gets back into this trading channel. So for me, I think Floki Inu's got a little bit of work to do, but what does it mean for the market? Well, when there's blood in the streets and there's fearful, and if you look at Floki's price chart action in historical terms, even when we had this ultra volume dump here, and we've not got the ultra volume dump here, this is the volume spread analysis where the smart money comes, because you've got to understand a lot of the whales are going into Floki, Shiba, Doge and stuff now. You can see that this is pretty where Floki finds the bottom. So if you're accumulating, again, not financial advice, or buying Floki or fan of Floki, and you're thinking, when was the right time to get into Floki? For me, you've got to be thinking, well, if you're buying a dip, there is no better dip than this one here. I mean, was a scammy wick, which you may or may not have caught, but this was a confirmed crash where you would have had plenty of time to get in on the Floki Inu token, and there still is time. You know, if you're believing, you're a strong believer of technical analysis, you're a strong believer that when the biggest crisis that we've had since the crypto market's been in this bull cycle is Russia invading Ukraine, and it's still only dropped down to the levels that it dropped when we were sort of like at the foot of the Fed and like that, you can see that obviously Floki's bottom would be this kind of area here until we're in a categorically confirmed bear market, which we're not at the moment, because again, like I said, it is following the Bitcoin kind of movement price chart here. You can see the Bitcoin had the same kind of big dump, found its bottom, and it had a little bit of a relief here to where Bitcoin now is getting itself back up to the kind of 40,000 mark, which for me is absolutely great news for Bitcoin. But looking at the Floki token, if you see this big U bend here and this kind of levels here, if it crabs, we may have another little dip, and it will be kind of an inverse head and shoulders, as people call it. But for me, I think now, hopefully, if Bitcoin stays in its back in its trading channel and Floki has a little bit more momentum, which it may well do when people start thinking this is the bottom and it starts accumulating, we could see better things for Floki Inu. But for me, I'd be thinking short term, dollar cost averaging in would be buying at support, maybe looking to take a few chips off the table at resistance, unless it confirms a breakthrough resistance, come down, retests it and goes to higher highs. But at the moment, I think it's just going to be a slow burner at the minute for Floki Inu until we get the green light or the big momentum comes in and we see Floki Inu do what it did here when the Bitcoin price went up and shoot up with a big. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you think, you know, there's some news or there's some bullishness about Floki Inu. But for me, I want people to sort of trade smart. Don't gamble, be traders, investors. Don't think, okay, well, Floki's at the bottom, this YouTuber said it, bam, let's throw all my money into it and my nan's kitchen sink. No, that is not what I'm saying do. I'm not saying go and invest. I'm saying this is what I'm thinking and this is how I look at tokens, but do your own research. So I hope a lot of that makes sense. I hope you find it pretty interesting, and that, you know, if you leave a comment below. You can let me know what you think about Floki Inu, what you think about the crypto market. Again, you know, I have got my area on Discord or Telegram. You can see the links in the bio, and we do have a lot of chat in there. My website coming out, my web developer guy at the moment is just off at the minute. So, but as soon as that comes out, we'll be having a forum on there, and I'll be giving kind of a lot of information, not really